So I wasn't really going to do a Sephora sale video, but a couple of you have asked about it. And I know that for people who look forward to the sale all year long, it's a big deal. I personally find a lot of brands that I love: Lisa Eldridge, now Louis Vuitton, Celine lipsticks, Victoria Beckham, Chanel. They're not at Sephora, at least not in the United States. So I can't really utilize Sephora for those brands. And then some of the items that I love from other brands that are at Sephora aren't part of like there's Valentino. I like Valentino Beauty, but Sephora doesn't carry the entire line. So it's kind of hit or miss. But there are some things that I've tried throughout the year that I would recommend picking up. Some of them I think are going to be very obvious, and I think I'll cover those at the very beginning, sort of the obvious choices, the ones that I know are going to sell out really quickly. And then perhaps as we're getting ready today, and we'll do a get ready with me, then we'll look at some of my favorites in every category. If that sounds good to you, then please consider liking, subscribing, following along, and in this case, please consider shopping my link. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really does help the channel if you can use my Sephora link that I will put down in the description box. The Sephora sale begins for the highest level members on Friday the 31st, and then every 2 to 3 days after that, it sort of goes to the next tier down. So 20% is for the highest tier, and they get, say, 3 to 4 days to shop it. And then 15% for the middle tier, they get 3 or 4 days to shop it. And then the basic tier of Sephora's loyalty program is the last one, and they get 10%. Now, Sephora collection items are 30% off for everybody during this sale. So it's a good time to stock up on some things that you would want to get. But again, I don't want to pressure you or make you feel like you have to get something. I've been in that position before where I have loaded my cart up with 55 items and got back stock of things. And you know what? I still have back stock of some things because of that. So recognize a couple of things right off the bat. A lot of brands have better sales on their own websites. It can be sporadic, but keep that in mind. And then keep in mind, don't be pressured into buying a ton of stuff that you maybe don't need just because it's Sephora sale time. Shop with a critical eye. And again, I really would appreciate it if you'd shop with the link that I provide down below. So there's a couple of things that I think are just going to go really quickly off the shelf, and I think that there's good reason because they're lovely products. The first one I think is going to be the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palettes. Now, the reason I say this is because they typically don't go on sale very much, and I think that these make great holiday gifts. They have 4 different styles for different skin colors or skin tones at Sephora. I have the Swan palette, which is kind of the light to medium one, but these are so nice to travel with. And they're such a big seller every year. So I think that is an obvious choice of something that's going to sell quick, and it's probably going to sell out very fast. The next thing I think is going to sell like gangbusters is the Danessa Myricks Lightwork 7. This is Danessa Myricks' best palette she's ever put out. All the formulas are fairly easy to use. It includes mattes, which we've been asking for a while. Stackable, innovative, you can travel with it. It's just a fantastic palette. And at $128, you'd save close to, $30? Close to, if you had the 20% off. So that's a good deal. Sometimes Danessa does do better deals on her website, but she doesn't always include the newest products. So I think this would be a great time to try something like this. If you want to dip your tongue into this, but you don't, is it dip your tongue? That's not right. I guess you could dip your toe without spending $128 or $89 or whatever it is after the discount. There is a baby version of this, the pastel palette that came out this spring that was really, really popular. It has the same beautiful formulas, same beautiful mattes and shimmers and metallics and duochromes and multichromes. So that would also be a great way to kind of dip your toe into the Danessa Myricks Lightwork series. While we're on eyeshadows, I think one of the most beautiful palettes to come out this holiday season is the Pat McGrath Gilded Nirvana palette. This is really spectacular. I know some people have complained that it's smaller than, say, in the past, but how often do you really pan formulas? And the thing is that it may be smaller, but every one of these is done so well this year, and in the beautiful Italian Quint formula, but it seems like it's even a better formula than normal. So this is a really beautiful item, and I'm sure it will sell well. Also, Pat McGrath has her Gold 001 relaunching, and that actually relaunched this week as part of the second set of the Gilded Nirvana collection. So that's also available at Sephora, and I'm going to pick one of those up because I never got that, and I have most everything else Pat McGrath makes. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, some people will tell you that Pat McGrath has better sales on her website, and she sometimes does. They've been less frequent than they used to be, but I would say that you normally have to hit certain pricing thresholds to get that. So if you have a lot of Pat McGrath like I do, I don't need to refill some of those products, so I may not get to that threshold, but I can get to the threshold on the Sephora sale by mixing and matching brands. So that's an instance where I would suggest, go ahead and get it at the Sephora sale, but you know what you need and what you need to get from Pat McGrath, so maybe you will meet that threshold and Black Friday would be a better option for you. I think this little guy is going to sell like crazy. It is the YSL highlighter and blush face palette, the Golden Oasis palette. It has 3 blushes. All 3 are existing in the line currently. And then it has 3 highlighters, or in my case, kind of 2 highlighters and kind of an eyeshadow. This is a beautiful way to dip your toe, there you go, into the YSL formula. For somebody maybe as a gift, I think that this will sell really well. The final thing that I think is just kind of an obvious that a lot of people are going to run to, I really don't want any of this dropping on me, is this MPH contouring and sculpting face palette. I picked this up in August and I really enjoyed playing with it, and it's for underpainting primarily. You can use it for other stuff, but it's primarily for underpainting. And so I think that this has been a really hot item at Sephora, and I think that it will sell out relatively quick. So if this is something that you're looking for, you might want to go ahead and put it in your basket. Okay, that takes care of the I think they're going to sell like gangbusters, let's move on stuff. So let's move on to the face and start getting ready. And to do that, we'll want to look at like tools and base products and things like that. So when we come back, we'll start looking at those and the prep step products. Okay, in the tools and prep step category, there's a couple of things that I'd really like to recommend. First of all, every Sephora sale, I end up picking up like makeup tape. It's Sephora Collection, and I use it sometimes when I do really detailed looks, and so it's a great time to pick that up. Another thing is like Shoto cotton squares. That's something that I go through very quickly, and they're not terribly expensive, but you might as well save while it's on sale. So that's something that I pick up every year at the Sephora sale. And then also from the Sephora collection, their creamy micellar cleansing milk. This is an item that I use to remove eye makeup. I use it to remove persistent or long-wearing lipsticks. And they've had it in a regular formula, but I really like this milky formula. I think it's around $16, so why not save $3 and pick it up during this time of the year? Some other like prep products that I love. This one might be, if you end up getting this series, better to get off of her website on Black Friday. But the Pat McGrath Divine Skin Rose Essence and Rose Essence Cream are spectacular. They make your skin glow. This has been out for a number of years, but it did come to Sephora this year. And then this is the new cream, which I would compare it to like the Tatcha water cream, maybe even a little thinner, but it gives the most beautiful glow and hydration. And I think today what I'll do is just put this on as a primer just to show you. But I often will wear this by itself, you know, just to go to like work or something, because it just gives you like a really beautiful glow, but it's not too much. So I just put a couple of drops of this on my face. It has a beautiful rose scent, and it's kind of cooling and it feels really nice, but it just gives you a really nice glow and some hydration. And then I go in next with the cream. Now the cream could be used as a primer. That's probably what I'll do today, but it can also be used as a night cream, or it can be used by itself, which is what I often do, and just kind of wear it to work or something like that. And it gives this beautiful glow to the skin, and it really does make anything you put on top of it go on so much better. And it has such a lovely feel to it. It reminds me a lot of the Tatcha water cream. So if that's a product you like, or you've tried this before but you've never tried that, definitely try those. Those are excellent. Of course, if you ended up getting both of those and maybe the palette, then it might be a better idea to go through like a Pat McGrath sale. But if not, then Sephora sale would be a great time to try it. When it comes to prepping my face, other than doing this, there's a lot of great primers out there. I love the YSL primer. That's a great kind of long wear primer. Danessa Myricks has some beautiful primers. The main one I like is the glowy one. But one, if you've got larger pores, that works out really well is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Balm line. There's a universal. She's got different colors depending on your skin tone. You can wear it as a foundation, but it really does help with pores and some oil control. She has an excellent line of different kind of yummy skin products, from glowy to mattifying to the mattifying drops. Just really excellent products. But now that's another one too. If you're going to get a variety, you might want to wait for that to come along with her Black Friday kind of sales. Other kind of prep products I love. I haven't tried much from this Violette France brand, but I think it was Tanya Wells. I think it was her who was like raving about this Boom Boom Milk. And I have tried it and I really like it. So this is going to be in my cart because, as you can see, it's already getting a little low. But on those days where I don't have time, maybe I don't even have time to do that Pat McGrath moisturizer, you can just shake this up and spray it on. And it is a moisturizing spray, but it actually feels like something, not just water. It is a moisturizer and you can feel it going in, and you can kind of press it in and feel that. This is a really great product, especially for those who are really busy, or it's one of those days where you can't even have 5 minutes. You can just spray that on and it at least provides some hydration. Lip prep. Okay, especially now with fall coming and so many matte lipsticks, it's really important to have good lip prep. I like to do lip prep if I'm going to wear like a matte lipstick in one of these videos or something, about 20 minutes before I put the lipstick on. Two that I really like that I've tried of late are the Dr. Dennis Gross Plump and Repair Lip Balm, which is really lovely. It does burn a little bit, but it is plumping and it does fill in lines. So that's a good product. If you don't like the plumping aspect though, and you want something really soothing, I would go for this Edam La Chocolat Lip Softening Balm. I just got this a while ago and I really love it. In fact, I'll use it right now. It has this beautiful cooling tip on it and it just softens the lips so that in 15-20 minutes when it's time to put on a lipstick, it will look absolutely perfect. But of course, you could wear it by itself because it's a beautiful gloss as well. It's a little thick to wear as like a lip gloss, but it's perfect for this kind of thing, for a treatment. Primers. If we're going to talk about primers, my all-time favorite eyeshadow primer is still the Rare Beauty one. I love the Pat McGrath one. The About Face one's pretty good, although that's at Ulta. But this one never fails me because it works with almost every eyeshadow, and it's thin enough to where it works with all eyeshadows, and it really provides a nice base for eyeshadows to stick to. And I'm not a huge Rare Beauty devotee, but that is one product that I think they've just really nailed it on. Now, I like a lot of different eyebrow pencils, but I still think the best one is the Precisely My Brow by Benefit. I think that it's a good, reasonable price. I don't have the super fine one. I have the regular, and I can easily go in there and draw in where I need it. And I don't have to be overly perfect because it has the spoolie on the end, so I can kind of work it out if I make a mistake. But it's such a way and so easy to just kind of fill in any loose or spare parts of your brow so that they look more perfect. And then I just go in with the little spoolie and work the product through them. Now, Anastasia, of course, has a good gel, but I don't tend to like those as much, those laminating gels, but I do like this kind of product. If we're talking about primers, if you're going to wear like that new Danessa palette or the Pat palette, you definitely want to invest in the Pat McGrath Intensify Wand. I get 2 or 3 of these every year because I go through them so much. But anytime you're using a glittery, multi-chrome, duochrome, shiny kind of eyeshadow, this is a great thing to put down because it makes it to where there's less fallout, but it also makes them so much more impactful and really makes the product adhere. So this is a product that I will always recommend and really love. Finally, when it comes to just kind of face products and prep or finishing even, I'll mention that Merit has a beautiful new cleanser. This is the Great Skin Double Cleanse Face Wash. This is intense. It really feels like you're getting in those pores, but it's something that I really like, and I think it's a great way to get makeup off, although I do use that milky micellar water for my eyes. And then 3 setting sprays have come out this year that I absolutely really like. One is from Danessa Myricks, and it's the Yummy Skin Liquid Blurring Balm. This one's very unique. It's you spray it on, you shake it up first, and you can hear you really need to shake it up because there's a powdery formula in there. Then you spray it on, let it sit about 1.5 minutes, and then press it in with a puff, and it'll lock in your makeup. Then there were 2, the other one that I really liked that is kind of a blurring setting spray is from Pat McGrath, and this is the Longwear Blurring Setting Spray. I find this one to be a little more matte, but I think both of them are excellent, so it really just depends which one you want to try. And then I'm somebody who normally likes glassy skin, and so the Pat McGrath Glass 001 setting spray has been epic. So you can just do kind of a light spray over and it'll give you like a beautiful glow. You could keep going and you could get really glassy. What I do is kind of a light spray over, and then I hit the high points with just a little bit of it, and it gives you that extra shine and dimension. So those are all good base products that I would highly recommend. Okay, before we go any further and start putting products on, I just want to say a big thank you. I got my first PR package today, and this has nothing to do with Sephora, but I don't care. It's so exciting. It's a company that I've been using forever and ever and ever. I think I have every brush they've put out. But Rephr sent their holiday collection and a couple of other brushes that I desperately needed to replace anyway. If you haven't checked out the Rephr holiday brushes this year, first in the Shoto set, which I love the Shoto set, they've come out with some eyeshadow brushes, and they can get really precise, but they can also diffuse because they have different heights of hair in the bristles. They have two. They have the Shoto 5, which is beautiful for like diffusing a blush or even a bronzer. And then the Shoto 6, which is the perfect little brush for going in the inner corner or these kind of tiny spots around the eye, and really epic. The other brush they sent, and I will have to find it in myself to use this, but it's so beautiful that I kind of don't want to, is their new holiday release. And if you haven't seen this thing, it's really spectacular. It's a face brush that's on an angle. It's kind of a triangle shape, but it has this beautiful 24 karat gold coated brass filament top that holds the bristles in, and then this stunning handmade handle. I think that this brush has sold out once or twice. Maybe they'll get a little bit more stock, so if they do, keep checking the Rephr website. But please consider shopping my link down below. Rephr makes the best products, the best brushes on the market. And I will show you a few others today that I do enjoy that are at Sephora. But I just wanted to include this because they're so special and Rephr does such a beautiful job. And so it's just something to think about. And if you can get a hold of this specialty brush that comes in the beautiful cedar box, this would make a beautiful holiday gift. While we're talking about brushes, one company that does have brushes that I really love, and they're available, let me grab them, at Sephora, is Merit. Every time they have a Sephora sale, I will grab the Merit brushes. This is the face brush, but you can go in with concealer, you can do your whole face with it. This is the eyeshadow brush that has kind of a diffusing end and then a pointy end to get in the really tight spaces. I think sometimes people forget about these, but Merit has really great brushes, and I love the shape, particularly of this one, because it's so easy to get in and out. And it's relatively reasonable in price, so I don't feel bad about using it a ton, because it's a really great brush. And so that's what I'll use today, since it is something you can get during the Sephora sale. So let's talk about foundations and concealers. I'm gonna go shop my stash, and I'll be right back with some of my favorite foundations and concealers. So I have a lot of foundations and concealers that I could recommend at Sephora. I just pulled a couple of my favorites. A classic is the Prada. This is the Skin Optimizing Foundation Prada Reveal with a sunscreen 17. I could care less about that. But the Prada foundation is so perfecting and so beautiful. They also sell it as a refill, and you technically can use it by itself. But it's such a beautiful product. And rumor is in the spring we'll be getting a Prada concealer to go with it, as well as that new eyeshadow palette with the banana. Other foundations that have come out that I really love. Well, this one didn't come out this year. It came out about, maybe 2 years ago now. But as far as skin tints, the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Tint is still my favorite as far as available at Sephora. It's such a reasonable price. It gives beautiful coverage, and I really love it. I love how easy it is to travel with, and it's a good alternative to some of the others. You know, I've tried the Hourglass one. I like this one better. I love the Victoria Beckham one, but obviously that's not available at Sephora or Lisa Eldridge. This one is really excellent. 3 foundations that have come out this year that I think will be really popular, and I can recommend them. If you want something that's very perfecting and gives you a pretty good beat with a natural glow, I would go with the Natasha Denona foundation. It does look really beautiful. It's perfecting. It's not particularly glowy, which is something I really like in a foundation, but it certainly can be enhanced. And if you use like that Pat McGrath setting spray, you can really kick it up. But it's a beautiful foundation, very long wearing. There are two glowy foundations that came out this year that are both available at Sephora that I really love. The first is the Givenchy Prisme Libre Glow Foundation, and the second is the Forever Hydra Nude by Dior. I think these are almost identical. The Dior maybe has a little bit more coverage. The Givenchy maybe has a little bit more glow. They're both beautiful, so it really just depends what you're looking for, but I don't think you could go wrong with either of these. So what do I want to use today? Well, let's go for this full beat. So I'm going to grab the Natasha Denona, and I have mine in the shade Neutral 3. And it's a pretty good match. If it's not, there's a product that I'm going to show you later that is really helpful for warming up a foundation, also from Natasha Denona. But I've grabbed 2 pumps here, and you can see it's not a particularly watery foundation, but it does feel a little bit like serum. And I'm just going to place it on with that Myricks brush that I really like. And this is just a pretty light coating of it. I certainly could go in for more, but I find with this, it's best to work in thin layers because it is so perfecting. Like I said, it doesn't have a ton of glow, which I normally like, but I did do that skin prep from Pat McGrath, and I can use the Pat McGrath setting spray, the glassy one, and heighten the glow when I'm done. But it just works really nicely. And I'm actually going to go in with just a little bit more to hit the red spots on my face. It doesn't take very much. As you can see, I just have a small drop there. But just to kind of hit these areas that I have a little more redness in. Easy peasy. And this brush is so easy to work with. And I can just wipe it off and use the same brush for my concealer. It can just flip it around and use the smaller end. So I really like it. Speaking of concealers, I don't think that the Natasha Denona one would really disappoint anyone. If you liked the concealer, you'll like the foundation and vice versa. It's a beautiful sort of utilitarian concealer that I think would work on a great number of people. Another slightly fuller coverage, creamier concealer that I really like is from Westman Atelier, and it's their concealer. I really like it. It's also a little pricey, so it's a good time of the year to pick that up. I have mine in the shade B208, and I think it's a really great concealer. Affordable concealer that I really love is the Tower 28 concealer. It's very thin, it's very serum-y. It reminds me a lot of my favorite concealer, one of my favorite concealers, but this is a much more affordable rate, and so I would recommend picking this up. It's a nice product. And in case I don't remember, another affordable product that Tower 28 makes that I really like is their mascara. They make a black and a brown. So if you're looking for a mascara that gives some definition and length, I think you'd like the Tower 28 one. It's not one of my favorites, but it's a really good kind of lower priced option. My favorite concealer that is available at Sephora, I believe. I know it's available at Sephora. It's my favorite concealer that's available at Sephora. I think it is the Gucci concealer. If you've never tried the Gucci concealer, well, not only is it the most gorgeous component, well, it was before I dropped it, the most gorgeous component, but it has a light serum-y texture, but it's kind of self-setting. It's really interesting, and it has kind of a powdery feel when it goes in. It's unlike any concealer that I've used. The closest one is actually probably the Tower 28. So It reminds me a lot of that, except this one has this kind of self-setting powdery finish that I really love. And why not pick it up when it's on sale if you've wanted to try it? I think if you like the Tower 28, you've tried that before, and you want something that's like next level, self-setting, beautiful, finish, then this would be a great time to try that, because I think it's really an awesome product. Speaking of setting, well, let me grab it. There's 2 setting powders that came out this year, and both of them I really liked as far as available at Sephora. The first one is the Prada setting powder. I actually think it came out towards the end of last year. But it's the beautiful rebalancing setting powder. Very creamy, a very interesting texture. I'm hoping if and when Prada does blushes, they will be in this formula because it's really beautiful. The other one is the Givenchy pressed powder. Now, Givenchy came out with a loose powder that was extremely popular and wonderful, and then they reformulated it, and people don't like the reformulation as much, including myself. I didn't like it either. But then they came out with this pressed powder, and it's actually pretty close to the original. So although this is a self-setting concealer, I'm still going to go in and just set it a little bit. It comes with a little brush, and then it's got the 4 colors. There's a couple of different colorways that it comes in, but I just find that this pinky one, it's shade 3, works best for me. And so I just set it her here. And it's a beautiful setting powder. It's good at minimizing pores. I really like both of these setting powders. So it really just depends. If you want something that's a little creamier, color correcting, I would go with the Prada. If you want something that's a little bit lighter and airier, then you can go with the Givenchy. I think that takes care of the base. So now we can go on to the cheeks. Yeah, let's go on to the cheeks. Okay, be right back. There is a product that I will buy every single time there's a Prada sale. Not a Prada sale. Well, I would buy a lot if there was a Prada sale. There's never a Prada sale. There's a product I will buy every time there's a Sephora sale. And if you've watched my channel for a while, then you probably know what I'm about to say. It's either the Pat McGrath Intensify Wand, the Pat McGrath Skin Products, or the Westman Atelier Contour. This is in the shade Biscuit. It comes in a smaller size as well. I know Dior has a very nice contour product. Nude Sticks has a pretty decent one. I find that nothing on the market tops the Westman Atelier one. It's the blendability, but it's also the texture, and they have perfected the color. This is the one called Biscuit. There's one above it, I believe, called Truffle. But I will go through 2 or 3 of these a year. I love it so much, and I've never found a better product for contouring on the market. So let's blend that in, and while we're doing that, let me just talk a little bit about a face palette. I know I talked about the Hourglass, but one that I really love for traveling is the one from Makeup Forever. Now, I know they have a variety of these. They even have a brightly colored one now for doing kind of dramatic makeup, you know, but I like this one that has foundation, concealer, blushes, highlighter, contour, bronzer, all in one. You can kind of customize it and make your colors the way you want them. It's so nice to have everything in one. And when you're traveling, it's so much easier to pack something like this. What I'll do is pack this, and I'll pack like an Hourglass palette for the powders. And between the two, it's just, you can really get by and actually achieve really good looks with it. So I really like that product. Makeup Forever has some interesting products. See how I'm just kind of pointing this down to get just the size I need for contouring? That's what's so nice about this brush, is you can really get in and make it a lot of different brushes at once. Okay, Another kind of liquidy bronzer that I really like, and I mentioned earlier, is the one from Natasha Denona. Now, I'm not going to use it today because I did a contour. This is a liquid bronzer. It's not so much a contour, but it's also really nice to mix in with a foundation that's a little too light or a little too cool. So it's a good product, and I've really enjoyed it. I will say it sets very quick, so you want to make sure that you're moving the product, get it where you want, and then once it sets pretty well. Another item that I think is going to sell really well, and it certainly should, it's a very nice bronzer, is the one from Rephr Holiday. This, for some reason, just blew up the internet this summer, and it is in the shade Boys, which is this kind of pinky brown shade. It is a beautiful bronzer, don't get me wrong. I really like the texture. It's really creamy, and it's a beautiful shade. It's a little bit more neutral than a traditional bronzer. It is kind of pricey, I will say that. So this would be an excellent opportunity if you want to try it, to grab it, and I think a lot of people will. Little secret about this: how often do you use the mirror that comes with a bronzer or contour? I don't. So you can actually save a good amount of money by just buying the refill. And unlike some other companies like Prada, where the refill just kind of comes in a cardboard box, this actually does come in a clamshell. So it's easy to travel with, and that way you get your refill in a little container. This is the second shade, called Lumen, and it's a little bit warmer and goldier. But if you don't want to commit to this whole thing, and this thing is like a hockey puck, it's not like Louis Vuitton, but it's like a hockey puck, well, then you could just get this, because really the only difference is the weight of the package and that you're not getting that mirror. But I don't think you necessarily need it. My favorite bronzer all time is the Gucci bronzer, and it's a great time to pick it up. It comes with its own little brush down below that I don't know a single person that uses, but it's in there. But they have such a beautiful formula, and it's so smooth and creamy and wonderful. So this is an excellent product, and I will always recommend it. There are other good ones on the market. Dior has a really good one. Givenchy has a new one that's very silky, but I've never found one that I liked as much as this Gucci one. I'm going to go in with the Rephr Holiday, however, since it's new, just to kind of show you, and also to use one of the new brushes that were so kindly sent. Thank you again by my friends at Rephr. This is the Shoto 05. It's got those uneven bristles, so it can really give you that diffused look. So I'm going to go in with some of this product, and it is such a pretty color. And just use this brush, and it diffuses in so nicely. I love the Shoto brushes. I hope they continue the line of Shoto brushes. I know some people have said, I know one of my favorite people I watch, Critical Beauty, if you don't follow her, you should, has said that, I think it's her, that this bronzer's over promoted. I would say I agree, it's expensive. It is a beautiful color. That's why I would recommend just getting the refill, because unlike some other companies that do refills that don't actually have any good packaging to store them in, this one does. And look how beautiful that is. Just, it went on, and it's a beautiful color. It's not too warm. So that's what we have as far as bronzers and contours. Let's come back with blushes in just a second. So if I'm just going to work and I just did my McGrath skincare and I just want a little bit of glow, I really like the bronzer and the blushes from Glow Recipe. I like the bronzer a lot, and I like these blushes. They just give a little wash of color, sort of similar to like the Victoria Beckham wash, but I don't find these stain. That one can stain if you don't move the product quickly. That one lasts longer though too, so it's kind of a trade-off. But I have noticed, in addition to the bronzer and these two colors, they've released 2 new colors for the holiday season. These are so good for that. I'm not going to wear any makeup, but I just want a little something. These work really great for that. As far as liquid blushes, I know a lot of people like the YSL ones. I find them hit or miss. They can be a little tricky to use. What I really love is the Giorgio Armani ones. I find these to be so easy to use. They're almost foolproof. Some of them do lack pigmentation, you know, the lighter ones in particular, but I think they have the most beautiful liquid blush formula on the market. And of course, I'm always going to recommend Armani Glow if you're looking for a foundation. The Armani single liquid eye color, they're so great. The Armani Glow line in general is not going to do you wrong normally. And then for powders, I really love the Valentino blushes, but I think I might hold off on those because it appears that we're getting a rebrand on those and we're getting some new ones that are overseas right now. I love the Valentino blushes. They're right up there as my favorite, but they are rebranding, so I might wait on those because you might be able to get the current ones at a lower price if they're going to discontinue them. I'm not sure what's going on there. The one that I think is going to be really popular is the YSL blushes. I already showed you the face palette, but they have such a wide variety of colors in the YSL blush that I think that there'll be something for everybody, and they really are nice to use. They can get away from you, so you really want to work it in that brush or use a diffusing brush like that Shoto I showed you. My favorite blush is kind of tied between the Valentino and the Gucci. Gucci blush is the creamiest, most beautiful pigments, most beautiful colors. The only thing I was disappointed with this year is that they didn't put out special edition holiday colors. I love the rosy mauve shade. There's so many that I really love. So if you're looking for just kind of the top of the blushes, I really think the Gucci ones are still my favorite, although a lot of people love the YSL ones, and I do too. I just find them slightly harder to use than the Gucci ones. So what do we want to do for blush today? You know, I think I want to use the Armani, the Luminous Silk, because I want to show you how well it works on powders, because I have already powdered my face. So this is in the color 29. Is it 29? 62. I'm losing it. 62, which is kind of their nude color. But I find these look so nice when you put them on. And I'm just going to wipe off some of the excess product from that Merit brush and now go in. They blend out so beautifully and give you kind of that glow from within. I really like this. They have a beautiful red color. They have a deep berry color. They have a very unique, like peachy pink color. I really like these. I know some people don't feel they have enough pigmentation. I feel they do. I feel they're easy to build up if I want to add more, but it's a product that I really like. So yeah, we've taken care of blushes. We're nailing through them. So let's go into our next category, highlighters. Okay, bye. Okay. So my favorite liquid highlighter is, that's available at Sephora. My favorite liquid highlighter is from Lisa Eldridge. However, my favorite liquid highlighter that's available at Sephora is, of course, the Forever Glow by Dior, the Maximizer. This is the special holiday edition color called Abracadabra Dior. But it's a beautiful color nonetheless, and I really love it. It's easy to blend. Some of the colors are more glittery than others. This one's pretty glittery, but it's a beautiful product nonetheless. If you like a liquid highlighter, I kind of like to layer highlighters, so this is a good base product. For powder highlighters, I really like the Gucci highlighters, and they came out with 2 new ones, a peach one and this kind of hot pink one for the holidays, which actually looks scarier in pan than it does on application. It has a beautiful, it could be a blush topper. Maybe that's how I use it today. The thing about the Gucci highlighters that a lot of people don't like is they say their brushes can't pick them up. And it's because they're kind of a putty texture. I don't know if you can see that indentation. So you really want to use a denser brush to pick up the product. Even something like this that I can wipe off. And I'll just show you, I'm just going to grab a little of this on a denser brush and place it over that Armani. And this color actually works really beautiful for me as like a blush topper. There's another seasonal color that's kind of a peach that would be better as a highlighter. And then they have their regular ones. I really like the nude opal. I think it's a really beautiful color. It reminds me of like Peau de Pêche from Westman Atelier, which is also something I would always recommend. But this is a beautiful product. It just requires a little bit of a stiffer brush. Okay, then as far as traditional highlighters, the ones that have come out that I really like, Dior came out with this beautiful one called Dior Star, part of that same holiday line, and it's really almost translucent with little multicolored sparkles in it. It's really beautiful for the holiday season. You can see a little bit of pink in there, really pretty and unique. It's a little drier than a traditional highlighter, but it has such a beautiful color payoff. I think it's really beautiful for the holidays. The best highlighter that came out this year, though, I think, is the Prada highlighter. It's expensive, and they're coming out with highlighting bronzers I saw in the new year, but or maybe even for the holidays. But this is an excellent highlighter. Where did it go? This is nice. The problem with the Prada highlighters is they come in the same packaging as the eyeshadows, so you can quickly get them confused. But I have mine in the shade 01, which is this kind of champagne. This is another one that I think requires a little bit of a stiffer brush or a finger application. But it's so beautiful. It just has that lit from within, but you can't really detect that you're wearing a highlighter on your skin. Really unique. So I like to take this like this and place it. I do the same thing with the Gucci one. And you can get very blingy with this the more you place. And then I'll go in with a lighter brush, or in this case, I'll use that Shoto 5 and diffuse. And there's just something really unique about the formula. I think some people don't like it because it's expensive, and I think some people don't like it because they're trying to use like a fan brush with it, and it just won't work with that kind of thing. You do have to kind of place it, and then you can use a brush to buff it in. But once you buff it in, it gives you the most beautiful glow, but you can't really see it. So it's a really beautiful, natural lit from within highlighter. Now, if I'm going to a Christmas party and I want to kick it up another level, then I can grab some of the Dior one and throw that over. But there are some visible particles in this one, so if you don't like glitter, you might not like that. But I'm currently wearing 3 highlighters and 2 blushes, so I don't really care about that today. Okay, I think that takes care of highlighters. Let's move on to the next category. Eyeshadows. So I showed you a couple earlier from Danessa Myricks and from Pat McGrath that I think are going to sell very quickly. But there have been some really beautiful eyeshadow palettes that have come out this year. Unfortunately, a lot of them came out from stores that are not necessarily at Sephora, Victoria Beckham, Chanel, things like that. But there are some that came out that are really beautiful. From Natasha Denona, she's come out with 3 kind of midi palettes this year. So far, they haven't done a whole lot for me. I like it when Natasha Denona is more adventurous and plays with color. The palette she came out with this year that I really love would be a great stocking stuffer. And it's this mini gloom palette. It's so unique. It's a cool tone, great folly palette, beautiful colors. I think it's a great addition to a Natasha Denona collection, and it's the kind of Natasha Denona that I love, where you're really playing with different kind of colors and textures. The middies she came out this year, there was one that was all peach, and that was called Bloom. It was fine if you like peach eyeshadow. And then she came out with her Sculpt, Define, and Deflect, or whatever the hell they're called, and those 18 panners. Really nice, but if you have a lot of Natasha Denona palettes, you have those colors 700 times over. So I really like this little 5-pan. YSL always has very popular eyeshadows, and they came out with, gosh, maybe 6 or 7 different quads throughout the year this year. I think the best one are probably the Unexplored Gardens or the Captivating Dunes. The Captivating Dunes is such a beautiful color story. It looks very like every other YSL palette, but the textures are really beautiful in this palette, and it's cool toned, which some of the other ones are more neutral or even warm toned. Prada came out with 3 quads this spring in their Halo line, and I really enjoyed 2 of them. One of them was so light, I don't know who could wear it. But from the Prada Permanent collection, I really love the quad Pulse. I still think it is one of my all-time favorite quads. This is one of my all-time favorite sort of satin shades. It's got this liquid metal silver, this deep plum orange. I think this is a great way to do Prada. Now, if you're a little scared of that and you want to do something a little milder, then Prada came out with their Halo line earlier this year. And like I said, they're kind of based on different depths of skin color. I find the lightest one, I can't get it to show up. But the middle one's beautiful, and I actually, as my favorite one, is actually the darkest one, which is Primula. And as you see here, you can buy the Prada refills only and stick them in these little packs from Amazon, and that's what I do. So every third one or so, I'll buy one of these, but then otherwise I'll buy the refills and just change them in and out of the little package. So if you're buying it for you, it might be a great way to save $15. And then Mother finally, after not giving us one last year, gave us a Mothership this year. A lot of people complained about this because it didn't have baked shades, or it didn't have this, or it didn't have that. What it did have is gorgeous formulas, luxe packaging, and more than anything, it had color and not just pink and gold. This one had a variety of different colors in it, really unique, very interesting, almost kind of grungy. And so I think this would be a beautiful palette. It could work all year long. This is PetalMorphisis, but all the Motherships are spectacular, but I think this one's really beautiful. So I'm gonna pull you in a little closer, and I'm gonna grab that Merit double-ended brush, and we're just gonna do a quick look with this palette. Almost made it. I almost made it. Okay. So I'm going to go in with the sort of peachy shade that's on the bottom row down here. These are extremely pigmented. That's the thing about Motherships. It's her finest formula, but they are extremely pigmented. But they blend out really nicely, as you can see here. And the thing is that you can get all sorts of different levels of depth with a single matte. So it really does look like you could have 3 or 4 different shades on at the same time. This is all one shade, but it's just a beautiful peach kind of shade. A little corally maybe. It's not as pink as some of her others, which I love. Okay, she gave us something that we don't often get from her this year, and that is a dark color that's not brown or purple or pink, and she gave us this dark forest green. So I'm actually going to go in with just a little of that, because a little goes a long way, on this outer portion here. I noticed, like, I think it was Patty Alonso said she struggles to find ways to use these colors together. And I could see that, but I think that's something that I really like about Pat McGrath, is that it forces you to come up with new ways to use a palette. I did a 5 looks 1 palette with this, so if you want to look at that, you can on my channel. But I think it's just a really beautiful, unique color story. I'm going to grab a Rephr 15 just to diffuse this out a little bit and clean it up. But you can see that dark green is gorgeous for fall. Okay, then on the lid, we have a lot of choices. I can't stand when people say these don't have special shades. They may not have the baked shades that were in the original ones, but these shades are still spectacular. This is spectacular. These 4 are very beautiful. So I think what I'm gonna do, you know, why not? It's Halloween time. Let's go in with this special green shade right here. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm gonna place this on the lid. Just to meet up with that dark green over here. Now, if I wanted to intensify this, I would definitely use my Pat McGrath Intensify wand. But as you can see, this particular shade doesn't need a whole lot of intensifying. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more of that dark green and just meet it up here on the corner. When this palette first came out, I thought those 2 greens don't go together very well. And then when I put it on my eye, I was like, oh yeah, it does, because it pulls out the darker shade that's in this green special shade. So I'm just gonna carry this over a little bit. There's nothing like using a Mothership. It just feels so nice. I'm gonna grab this kind of sunset color over here and put this on the inner third. And this one has more of a gel texture. And I'm gonna bring it over a little bit and blend it with that green. The thing is, the textures and the blendability is where Pat McGrath wins this. People may say, oh, I can get it from indies or whatever. But there's just something about the packaging and even the textures, even without those baked shades, that are just so special and unique about these. Okay, then finally for the inner corner, well, do we want to go? Nah, let's go with this kind of beautiful top left color that's in every Pat McGrath palette. And it's this beautiful light color. And she has a variation of this in every Mothership. Also works beautiful under the brow. And you can see I've used one brush, this one Myricks brush for all of this. Now I'm going to dust off that end a little bit, and I'm going to grab just a little bit more of that peachy color and run it underneath. I really like this color. From my math, there's one kind of bronzy color in here, and there's two that could kind of be seen as purples. But I don't see anything that's just a straight up pink, and I don't see anything that's a straight up gold. So I think that's a win. And a birdie has told me that she is working on next year's entry. So hopefully we will get that. Because I don't ever want a year like what was that, last year where we didn't get any? That was no fun. Mother Pat, don't do that to us. I'm taking just a little bit of that green and putting it on this outer corner here, just to connect to the top a little bit. And there you go. I think that's just a really cool special look. If you wanted a little bit more brightness, you could go in with some of that special shade a little bit and just dust it over the top. But I think this is really cool looking. So I'm gonna bring you out and we'll look at other things in the eye category. Okay. Now in the eye category, there's lots of wonderful liners. I love Pat McGrath's Black Coffee. That's a classic. But a couple I just wanted to show you today that I think kind of get lost are the Valentino Colorgraph liners. These are great liners, and they came out with a beautiful collection of different blue ones for this holiday season. This is 2 of them here. There's even a super dark blue. Really beautiful liners. I think they are right there with the Pat McGrath. I really love them. You know, Victoria Beckham is still my top, but the Pat McGrath liners are great. The Natasha Denona liners are good, but these Valentino ones are lovely as well. For a liquid liner that's actually pretty affordable, I really like the Stila one, and it comes in black or brown, but we want to get the one that's got the dual end because it has an end on it that is normal, and then it has one that is so tiny and precise. I hear it's reminiscent of the Tom Ford one. I've never tried that, but this is an excellent liner, especially if you struggle with doing like a cat eye or liquid liner, because that tiny line, you can make it perfect and then go back in with the larger one over the lid to really add the drama in the areas that don't have to be quite as perfect. Mascaras, Pat McGrath's is excellent. There's a lot of excellent mascaras, but the ones that I would recommend, well, the classic is from YSL. I really love the YSL Lash Clash. They have 5 colors now, although as of this moment, they don't have the dark red at Sephora, which makes me sad. I would have got that as part of the sale. And then a new mascara that's available at Sephora that I really think is great is the Prada Sphere mascara. It's just a really beautiful lengthening mascara that adds some drama, but it's not crazy over the top. Today what I'm going to do is just grab my curler, and I think I'm just going to stick with the black Prada Sphere. It's just a beautiful mascara, and you know what? If you're looking as well, the Prada liners are very nice too. Yeah, it looks really nice. And as far as the liner, what do I want to do? You know, I'm just going to grab this beautiful green from Valentino and put this in the line, and then we'll come back and finish with lips. Okay, lips. I'm going to try to go a little faster because you probably feel like you're moving in with me at this point. But liners. I really like Natasha's liners. Really like Pat McGrath's liners. 2 liners that are a little softer and can actually almost be like a lipstick that I really like are the Fenty liners and the Merit liners. If you haven't tried them, I think you would like them. You're not going to get as defined a line, but I think you'll really like the finished product with them. As far as lip glosses, there's a couple that I really like. Of course, Dior has the beautiful lip glosses that come out. They had a beautiful sunset color that came out this fall. These are 2 colors, Shimmer Nude and Shimmer Hazelnut, which are right on par for fall. These are always beautiful and a great stocking stuffer. I really love the Armani Prisma lip glosses. This one is my favorite. This is in Nude Glow. They're so shiny, so thin, but they give such a beautiful formula. As far as a stick gloss, I adore the Valentino ones. I love the packaging, and they have a variety of colors. This one is bold brown, which I probably could, no, I get enough to get me through spring, but they have such a beautiful pigment. I'm just going to put a little of it on just to show you. There's a good amount of pigment in them. but they're so hydrating and really leave a nice finish. So that's a product I really love from Valentino. Okay, now we go to lipsticks. If you haven't tried the Merit lipsticks, I really like them. They have a variety of colors. This is the newest one called Maxwell. I believe this one may only be on the Merit website, but it's a beautiful color nonetheless, and they have some similar colors to this on their website, on the Sephora site. It's just a beautiful kind of dark reddy brown color. Going back to super high shine lipsticks, I love, it's a cross between a lipstick and a lip gloss, but the Fenty Gloss Bombs, is that what they're called? Gloss Bomb Sticks. I have almost every color. I don't have all of them. They have the solids, sort of the regular ones that are just super shiny, and then they have these that are super shiny, but they also have sparkle and glitter in them, and I really like them, and they have such a nice hydrating formula. You do probably want to use a liner with them because they can kind of escape on you if you don't, but look at that. Really beautiful. Would go well with this look today, but I have something else in mind. If you've never tried the Gucci lipsticks, they're really lovely. I have the color Eliza Ginger, which is the fault of Alicia Archer for turning me on to this color, but for a matte lipstick, it's really beautiful. Prada's matte lipsticks are also a really beautiful formula if you haven't tried them before. High shine, I really like the new Soleil Neige collection from Tom Ford. This is in the shade, oh god, I gotta try to, no I don't, because I made a sticker. It's in the shade Fireside. Beautiful high shine lipstick for fall. Of course that could take you into the holiday season. And then if you really want something special and unique, the new Fucking Fabulous lipsticks from Tom Ford. I have two shades. I have Mocha, which is another Alicia Archer. In fact, I was with her and she told me to try this one, and I did, and I absolutely loved it. These are so smooth and so beautiful. I mean, look at that color, that pigmentation. And then the other one was from Han Beauty, recommended the color called Rose, and it is also strikingly beautiful, super smooth, super creamy. These are gorgeous fall lipsticks. The final thing that I can recommend, and I recommend it if you don't compare it to the Chanel one, because nothing's going to compare to the Chanel one, but I do like these. Dior put out a liquid lipstick for the holiday season. It looks like the Chanel one. It's not the Chanel one. I will say this one maybe is a little more comfortable at first before you put the gloss on, but the big selling point of the Chanel ones is the line. They have such a broad line of colors, but the other big selling point is they do not transfer once you put that gloss on. These do. So it's just something to think about, but they are beautiful nonetheless. This is in the color Illusionist. And I would normally put down a liner, but it does have a nice tip on it, so you can get pretty precise. Now the way these work, these Dior lipsticks, they come out with them every holiday season. But this is the first year they've done them with this gloss. Some people really like them, some people don't. They think that the gloss makes the effect go away. But you wait about a minute, minute and a half, maybe two, until they are tacky. So not completely dry, but to where they're pretty tacky. So I say maybe a minute, minute and a half. And then you can rub your lips together and the glitters will start to appear. So right now, you don't really see anything. I'll go ahead and set my makeup with my glass setting spray. I'm not going to hit these because I want them to dry. love that. It gives such a pretty shine. Okay, so these are starting to get a little tacky. Yep. So now what you do is you can press your lips together. And some little sparkles start to appear. I don't think they're as dramatic as the ones that have come out in the past from Dior, but I do see them. It's very pretty. And it is starting to come up now. It may be hard for you to see on camera, but I have heard that the lighter ones are very hard to see. So if you get like a darker color like this, you do start to see that metallic-y gold pink kind of sparkle that's coming about. And then the other side has a gloss that you can put on. It is thicker than the Chanel gloss, and unlike the Chanel one, it does transfer. So these are nice for like a holiday party. And they do have some pretty colors, but nothing's beating the Chanel ones. Still a nice product though, and be great for the holidays. So there you go. Let's pull you out. Ah! I am sure that I have missed something. I will edit this and then I will be like, motherfucker. But hopefully I've given you some ideas. Like I said, I didn't want to do it because I don't want to like force you into spending stuff or make you think you have to go buy stuff, which I have done before from the Sephora sale or from the Ulta sales. But it is a good time. I particularly use it to catch up or to purchase products that I'm either running low on or that I use throughout the year, like the Pat McGrath Intensify Wand, the Westman Atelier, the smaller products like the Shoto squares or the face cleansers, things like that. It's also a great way to try a new product that maybe you've had your eye on. If you're going to use the Sephora sale and if you're going to shop it, then I would ask that you please use my link down below. It will really help out my channel. And then you can go ahead and put your code in if you're a Rouge or below member. There's also codes that members can share with friends and family. So when I get mine, I will try to share that out. But I do really ask that you would consider using that link if you're going to shop the Sephora sale. And if you're not, that's okay too. Because you know what? Other brands at Sephora and other brands in general will have Black Friday sales. But it's a really good time to get a little something from lots of different brands. So if you like this content, if you've enjoyed today, all 7 hours of it, then please consider liking, subscribing, following along, and shopping my links. It's unsolicited advice on Instagram and on YouTube. I really appreciate you being here. And thanks again to Rephr. What a great day. I finally got my first PR package from Rephr, a company I absolutely love. Bye everyone.